What separates Oklahoma from the rest is the history of championships, conference championships, national championships.
OU's been winning, since before I was born. So, obviously I wanted to be a part of that, be a part of, being able to win championships and compete for national titles and things like that.
Perception of OU, my memories of OU as a kid were, first of all, Coach Switzer and what he had built here and how different they were running the Wishbone, and Jamel Holloway and all those great teams, and obviously my guy Billy Sims. Just a track record of greatness going back to the King.
When you look at the modern era of college football since World War II, no one's won more games than OU.
What excites me most about the future of OU football, the players that we're going to be bringing in here already in the 2026 class, the 2027 class that we're already, underway putting together. That gets me really excited because I know what this coaching staff can do with the X's and the O's and getting these guys ready to play. And now it's, our new front office's job to find the best players possible to fit here at OU. We say it all the time, we're not collecting talent here, we're building a football team.
What makes Oklahoma legendary is just the continuation of wanting to be great every year. It doesn't matter the sport. We're always finding ways to continue to be better as a program and continuing to, bring the best guys in and wanting to be the best all around. So, when it comes to just Oklahoma in general, we're always striving to be number one. If you want to win, be a part of something great, man. Oklahoma's the place to do it. We have a great tradition. We have a great thing going right now with Coach V. Why not OU?
When you look at the decades of championships, conference championships, I believe we have the most in the whole country. National championships, we're up there with everybody. A lot of people say we're going to win. Well, when I look at decades and you never have won, why is that? And we used to recruit against people. I'd say, well, look at our history of success. And you can bet it's going to happen again and keep happening. It's happened too long and too consistently not to again.
Yeah, let's hear it, everybody. Great video. We welcome everyone in on ESPN Plus, SEC Network, and on YouTube TV as well to Sooner Football Signing Day 2026. Legendary. Let us begin, as we always do with meetings like this, with a boomer.
Sooner.
One more time. Boomer.
Oh, come on, Chad. Give me more than that.
Boomer.
Yes, now we're talking.
All right, now we're getting to that level. Thank you all so much for being here. We want to thank all of our corporate partners, including One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties, fan-fueled Athlete Focus. We're going to get to know some of the newest signees on this National Signing Day. We're going to take a little holiday theme. We're going to talk about Christmas future, we're going to talk about Christmas past, and we're going to talk about Christmas present. Now, Christmas future, it's the immediate future. How about a trip to the college football playoffs, everybody? That sound good to you? That's right. Of course, we look at the future and what these student athletes can provide at the University of Oklahoma, and what we provide for them is not possible without all of your contributions. We appreciate all of your fanship, all of your commitment, and all of your support, and thank you so much for being here today. So let's talk about Christmas past as we begin things. And sitting on a stage very much like this, talking about 2021, a guy like R. Mason Thomas, who came out of Fort Lauderdale with all this potential. And then 2024, you had David Stone, who's a big part of this Sooner defense. And then it was 2 years ago, we had both Peyton and Eli Bowen on stage with us, back-to-back recruiting classes, 2023 and 2024. So we're talking about brotherly DNA that's also Sooner DNA. That's an unbeatable combination right there, as we have seen out on the field the last couple of years, right? Let's enjoy Christmas present, which is these presents that the coaching staff and all of us get to unwrap today with the signing of these new players, and just enjoy ourselves. Be Sooner fans. Cheer if you wish. We never boo the home team. That's right. We're not going to have that, and we're going to be excited, be Sooner fans on this great day. And let's talk a little more Christmas past right here with these two guys. This is Sooner recruiting class of 2000. Fort Gibson, Oklahoma, the legendary stories of him running sub 4.4 40-yard dashes and getting signed, sealed, and delivered on the dot. And those are all true, right?
Yeah, it's easy to run sub 4.4 when they're timing you on a sundial all those years ago.
Not
right?
a problem.
That was a while ago.
Well, clearly by looking at him,
While
he
ago.
has not forgotten his way to the weight room. He won the Butkus and Bednarik Award as a linebacker of the year, and, of course, the national championship, everybody. Teddy Lehman is up here with us today. And a very highly recruited athletic basketball player, tight end.
Highly recruited athletic.
Turned
That doesn't sound correct.
I'm going to go with it because we get better the older that we get. Class of 2009, Bishop McGinnis High School. He
That's
went on
right,
to
Jeff.
win the Werfel Trophy, Academic All-American of the Year, and All-American Center. Gabe Eichert is with us on the stage, everybody. So, of
I
course,
can guarantee you one thing. At some point today, Kevin Wilson will tell someone in this room a story about him telling me that he would get me the ball a lot as a recruit.
he did. Every
And he
snap.
recruited me, and Kevin Wilson was the number one reason that I ended up at OU. He believed in me when, a lot of people maybe on that staff did not. And then he moved me to the offensive line, and I touched the ball every play, and he loves that story.
Every
70
single play.
targets a game, man.
Touches. All kinds of touches.
Got you touches. So you've watched this class shape up, and sometimes it's 2 or 3 years in advance. Maybe a guy was committed that long ago, up to 2 or 3 days. When commitments can flip, they can turn on a dime. Teddy, as you look at this class, what do you think of what Brent Venables, Jim Nagy, and the staff have been able to put together?
Oh, it's a lot like the classes we've seen since Coach Venables got here. There's great balance. You look across offense, defense. You've got players that you feel like are ready to go right now. You've got players where you see a bunch of potential and some development are going to turn into great guys. Athletes, there's players on here that can absolutely run. You've got some outlier physical guys. I think it's a total class, and I love some of the physicality you see when you start going through some of the clips of these guys. And that's what you have to play here. You look at the way this team plays right now, what sets us apart is how physical we are, and you don't miss that whenever you start scrolling through the highlights of these guys.
Yeah, and that's on both sides of the ball. You pull up the defensive guys' highlights, and you're like, oh, that fits the violence that Brent Venables wants this group to play with. And then you look at some of the offensive line highlights, like Deacon Schmidt. I feel so bad for those kids he's destroying.
Once I heard the name Deacon Schmidt, I didn't even need to see. That's the most offensive lineman name of all time.
But that it's across the board. And the thing that stands out to me, and I think this has been a big point of emphasis for this coaching staff, and certainly a big point of emphasis for Jim Nagy and this front offense since they've been assembled and started making some of these decisions, all of the physical measurables, the frames, the size, the length that you want, it's all there at every position. There's really not one guy on this list of 24 guys where you go, he doesn't really fit. And I think playing in the SEC, knowing the type of bodies that you need, the type of frames that you need all over the field, I think this staff and this front office have done a tremendous job of identifying guys that have the proper measurables to where they can come into this program, develop in the strength and conditioning program with Schmitty, and then be big-time players on the field for us.
We mentioned the Bowen brothers. Oklahoma is home to the greatest set of brothers to ever play college football. There's a statue to recognize that just across Jenkins Road, and we honor them each and every year. We're talking about Lucius Dewey and Leroy Selman, some of the greatest in the history of college football. Well, another pair of brothers going to become Sooners today. Nico and Bo Chandro standing by now with Chris Plank.
Man, we're so excited, guys. Nico, Bo, welcome to the Sooner Nation. It's got to be a thrill to be able to play college football with your brother. Nico, I'll start with you. Since you were first to commit, what's this whole process been like for you?
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. We're just kind of looking for a home and just all the spring visits and everything. Just happy that we finally got to pick a place and got to finally with my brother, Bo.
So, Bo, I'm curious, whenever your brother had committed, what was the process like for you? Because there are a lot of schools that are interested in both of you, but when your brother committed, what did that kind of say to you about Oklahoma in your mind?
Yeah, so we always knew that we wanted to play football together and wanted to play, especially in the SEC. That was like our dream growing up. So when he committed and finally found his spot, like it was a blessing. That's what we played for. But he was definitely doing his recruiting on his half, so in his part. So he definitely let me know that Oklahoma is where he wanted me to go. So it just stuck out about like their program, and we had very similar values. So it was like if my twin brother uh, decided to go there, then the place was pretty special. So.
So what did that recruiting process look like for you, Nico? What was it like? I mean, I know you want your brother to make his own decision, but I also know you wanted to play with you. So what was the process of recruiting him into home like?
Yeah, I think just when I committed, we both kind of had our own paths. He had a little more interest than I did, and through that spring visit, we had done a bunch of spring visits and on the West Coast and these other schools, and it was just Oklahoma was just so much more different, and I knew that's where I wanted to be, and so I canceled all my official visits. I was like, I know this is where I want to go, and I let him take his time, kind of be respectful, but I was definitely pushing the narrative, like, hey, we gotta go here, and he ended up coming home. He knew where it was at, but yeah.
Hey, let me just get a general thought from both of you on your games. And Bo, I'll start with you. How would you describe your game? How would you describe the kind of football player the University of Oklahoma is getting, Bo?
I would say physical, fast, and an intelligent player, someone that can lead the whole defense and communicate the calls that Coach Beebe needs to get in, and someone that he can rely on and almost be like a second coach.
Same question for you, Nico. A lot of people have already decided that you're the perfect build, the perfect fit for what a cheetah is going to be in this Brent Venables defense. I don't know if you have visions of that as well, too, but what kind of player, Nico, are we getting?
A very versatile player. I like to think that I can play kind of within the secondary, in the box too, if you need me to be. And just a hard-hitting, aggressive, fast-playing, I guess, versatile player that is coming to this defense.
Bo, take me through what stood out about Brent Venables' defense for you whenever you were making this decision. Was there anything about the way a backer was used or just the history that he's had with linebackers and the defense in general? I know there's other of the coaches that were involved in your recruiting too, but what really stood out about this defense in particular to you?
Yeah, well, definitely. Coach Bates, actually, that was a big part of it too, is just him coming and talking to me and having the D-line that they have, and that Coach Bates coaches those type of players the way he coaches them. Just like having those players up front, letting backers play free and being able to make plays. But BB, just the history that he's had just at Clemson and everything, just with the backers that he's been able to take to the next level and elevate their game and bring them into the NFL. He has a ton of backers in the league right now, and I want to play in the league as well. So him being able to just build backers and like I said, elevate their game to the next level, that's something that I want to do. And I was just like, this is where I need to be.
I think that's one of the smartest things. Well, I'm not even blowing smoke that I've ever heard from someone that's signing. You're going to be a linebacker, right? You're projecting as a backer at the next level.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
About what that defensive line is going to look like and how that makes a linebacker's play more free and easy. That's really sharp on your side because you see the future of this D line, and there's going to be dudes that are going to be up there making it possible for
exactly.
plays, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's smart, man. Nico, for you personally, what did stand out about Brent Venables' defense? And kind of take us through who else was involved in the recruiting process for you.
Yeah, Wes Goodwin, he was big tonight. He's the one that extended me the offer. Coach Hall, he's always been there by my side, calling me and texting me, and just he's been a big one for me. And I think just what stands out is I think a lot of the times a lot of people don't know what I'm going to play. Whether that be safety, whether that be cheetah. And I think a lot of these schools are looking for a nickel more as a corner, and that's not who I am. That's not the way I play. And the way I see the cheetah position is kind of how we play here at Hamilton, an aggressive, versatile linebacker. And that's what I envision as myself playing. And I just think that stood out to me, and seeing that is something that I could relate to the game.
Hey, real quick, I know family matters to both of you. Obviously, brothers coming to play college football together. But, Bo, tell us a little bit about your family. Nico, jump in too. Like, what have they meant to you, and how have they been a motivating factor for you guys and a support system as well?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's definitely been a blessing. Our parents haven't been like the crazy sports parents that are just so involved with like their son's life that they almost live through them. They kind of just more sit back, and they're gonna push us, but they're not gonna push us over the edge. They're gonna push us to do the right thing. So that's my dad played professional volleyball, and then my mom was an athlete as well. So just having them in our corner and just supporting us has been huge, and they've been guiding us like the whole way. And they really not forced us, but encouraged us to lean on Jesus Christ. So them just having them in our corner and just like helping them guide, or them helping us guide like just our path and our journey to play college football has been huge for sure. Yeah, my dad, as he mentioned, former athlete, has been a big reason to our success, and the way we work, our work ethic, and the way we go about things is really stood out, and kind of shined through him. And even as little kids playing games in the backyard, not even knowing, just doing some agility stuff, just thinking his games. Little did we know he was training us up from a young age. But yeah, he's been a big reason, and a lot of testament to who they are as parents, and proud that we can be. My dad always says, like, when you're not working, there's someone that is. When you're sleeping, there's someone that's not. So we kind of brought that into our work ethic and just how we train coming up through, just like through the years of playing sports. So they've both been a huge part of this journey for sure. And I think my dad and my mom was definitely like ingrained something in us that has helped us go to the next level and extend our game.
Yeah. Sounds like two guys that are going to fit right in. We're so proud to have you as part of this family, guys. Welcome to the Sooner Nation, and can't wait to get you on the field.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Great to hear from those guys. And that interview with Nico and Bo and Chris, presented by Riverwind Casino, official entertainment destination of OU Athletics. We welcome to the stage safeties coach Brandon Hall and Nate Dreiling, the inside linebackers coach at Oklahoma. A lot of talk about family and you being by their side throughout this process. Talk about those two young men and what you found out about them through the process, Coach Hall.
Well, I think when you see how when Nico committed and just the type of person that he was, and then just as his family was guiding him through the whole process, they were constantly saying that the things that we had to offer, not only as a football team, but as just the culture in general, matched their family values. This is a family that believes in hard work, goes to church every Sunday. And they wanted to be developed as not only just as players, but as men. And you never asked for a dime. It was never about that with them, and they just want to know how we can make them better. Both of those guys are 4.0 students. Both of those guys, they want to be pushed to be the best version of themselves. They get up every morning at 5:30. They go work out, come back home, get ready for school. They're just very, very, just not only dedicated, but just the family as a whole is just the type of people that you want in your program, that you'd want around your own family.
Coach Dreiling, Bo, just having talked to him some and talked to people around the country about him, he's one of those guys that, he practices, he plays, he's physical, but he's one of those guys that looks like he's right out of the box ready. Yeah. And one of the guys that could be potentially a player that contributes early on. And not just him, obviously we want to hear you talk about him some, but some of the other guys on this roster that you guys assigned, what sticks out?
Yeah, with him, obviously physical, his traits are unbelievable. I mean, just like his dad said, someone's always awake and someone's always working. I swear these kids sleep in the plank position, what their bodies look like. But his mindset as well and his maturity. He only got to play a couple games this year due to an injury, but you watch him out there, it's like, okay, this guy is different. Funny story on the on Nico's recruitment, right? So me and Coach Hall are both there the day he committed on the field. And Nico's like, hey, I want to be a senior, and it gets all excited. And I'm like, okay, all right. I was like, Bo, did you say something? What's going on over there? But no, we had to work a little harder for Bo, but at the end it was worth it. And those guys are going to be unbelievable here. And then some other linebackers like Jacob Curry, right, out of Nice High School in Jacksonville area. So I was Jacob's first offer out of high school in 2023 when I was at New Mexico State. And then ended up, he blew up a little bit, and I was fortunate enough to climb the ladder and get here, and the stars aligned. But all of these linebackers, you're going to see a lot of speed. You're going to see a lot of violence. Dane Bathurst is another one, a late commit for us that was committed to Duke previously, and we flipped him not too long ago. Someone that's only played football for 2 years, but is a big kid that might grow up into an edge guy. But for right now, he's going to play a blitzing linebacker and a very tough-minded group. I think, if you want a linebacker in Coach Venables' defense, you're going to be fast, you're going to be tough, but your mental aspect has got to be elite. And I think all of the inside linebackers, I think the lowest GPA is like a 3.8, which is awesome because I always have so many questions in this scheme. I can ask them now. So.
Ted, 3.8 for you back in the day as well?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, we'll take
absolutely.
that. Who are some of the others you're excited about getting your hands on, Coach Hall?
Well, obviously the other safety we signed was Markel Ford. When Coach Nagy and their staff came in, we kind of already put together kind of moving into that group, and so then they come in and they just start going and evaluating everybody and the guys that we were already looking at. And so it was really, really cool when they came back and they had Markel and Nico right there at the top of the list. And this is including 5 stars and national guys. And again, when you start breaking things down by just the intangibles, and I know he talked a lot about physicality. Both these guys will strike, and obviously both of the guys that we're bringing in at safety are very, very intelligent guys. Both 3.5 to 4.0 students. Both just they possess great speed, and to us, just being just tough-minded, competitive people that just want to be driven. We have that type of culture, and I think people are starting to see here towards the end of the year how that toughness has paid off. Our message has never changed. And toughness always wins, and I think we're going to continue to grow on that, as not only as a staff but as a group at safety.
Guys, we appreciate you being here. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to ask real quickly, some of the guys up front. I mean, it all starts up front. How do you feel like those guys round out this class?
I think obviously this is the first time I've been here since January, okay? But with Coach Bates and Coach Chavis, what those guys do in particular, just on the whole defense, a lot of teams across the country, you recruit your position, right, and you're in charge of that. Those guys do such an unbelievable job of wrapping their arms around everybody. And you listen to Bo talk, what was the one main reason he came here? Because the D-line is such elite. So it's not just me, it's not just Coach Hall, Coach Venables, but the whole D staff, I'll just speak for us, is how well everyone recruits together, and you get the full picture and what it looks like on Saturday, right? A lot of work goes between now and national championships and bowl games and all that, but it starts with having like-minded people that want to pull the rope all in the same direction.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations on this signing day. We'll let you go enjoy it for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, appreciate it.
That is Nate Dreiling, inside linebackers coach, Brandon Hall, safeties coach at Oklahoma, and their appearance presented by Riverwind Casino, official entertainment destination of OU Athletics. So quarterbacks, no school has the storied tradition of Oklahoma. Teddy, you think all the way back to Jack Mildren and coming up with J.C. Watts and Jamel Holloway winning a national championship. You played with Josh Heupel, national championship winner, and then the Heisman guys who were across the way, Sam Bradford, Jason White, as we mentioned, and then Kyler Murray, and recently Baker Mayfield taking center stage, not just here, but on the professional stage as well. Well, Oklahoma's got another quarterback coming into the fold today, and we were able to catch up with him. Chris Plank setting down from with Bo Bentley now. Let's hear from the two of them.
All right, the quarterback, Bo Bentley, man, welcome to the Sooner Nation. Take us through the path. What made you decide to become an Oklahoma Sooner and join the Sooner Nation?
It all started in January. I mean, being able to talk to these coaches, I think when I first got back to playing and throwing after that All-American game, throwing for a lot of coaches, a lot of different programs, and then being able to make my spring break and visit a lot of different schools. I mean, Ohio State, LSU, Georgia, Florida State, all of it. But and then after that, just being able to narrow it down to LSU, Georgia, and OU. And I just think OU stands out in a very unique way, how they built this program. Coach Venables does a great job. And then bringing Coach Arbuckle in and Nagy, I mean, with the front office, it helps a lot. And just it's more of a family when you go and visit. Like, I wasn't around much of a family type of program at Georgia and LSU as I felt at OU. It was very unique, and just that's what I'm used to here at Salina. That's how our program is ran, and that's what I felt most comfortable with, and I think it was a pretty easy decision when it came down to the end of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, Ben Arbuckle, man, what a stud. Take us through just how he separated himself and what really stood out about his vision and his offense to you.
He keeps everything very simple. He wants to help the quarterback succeed. He's not going to have his version of offense. He's going to work his offense around what your strengths and weaknesses are, and I think that's where he's unique. And he's been around a lot of great guys to learn from him. He's just checked the stats from Washington State, Western Kentucky. His resume says a lot, and he's young. He's willing to learn, and I think that's very important to me because then I can learn along the way with him. And just having his staff, I mean, they're all very smart, very educated on the game, and most of them have played, so I think it stands out.
What, for you, give us a little bit of an idea about the kind of quarterback that you are. You consider yourself a film junkie? Or you throw a lot? I mean, what kind of quarterback, what kind of player are you?
I think it's kind of like 75% pass, 25% run. I mean, I'm going to go get the first down. If it's a third down, like, I'm going to run whatever, like the coach is telling me. I always love doing it. I think when a play breaks down, I'm always extending it, making something happen, not just throwing the ball away. But I mean, I can make every type of throw there is, and I just think I can run pretty much as well as anyone else in the state.
What for you, because you see the guys that are able to create in the pocket, the Mahomes, and obviously there's a different level with what Lamar Jackson and those guys can do. Is it a skill you work on? Is it just a natural talent? But watching your tape, what allows you to be so smooth in the pocket and avoid the pressure? And when things break down, be able to make off-schedule throws and then be able to do things with your feet. Is that something you've worked on, or has that just been God-given?
I actually think I acquired that when I played lacrosse. I mean, you get a lot of different positions in lacrosse, and I played for 2-3 years, and you're never in like a balanced situation. You're always on the run. You're always making uncomfortable throws. And I think when it really breaks down in a play, whenever a line is getting real close to you, like you're getting a little uncomfortable, some kids will just get out. Like they'll leave the pocket. I don't think that's me. I like challenging myself a little bit, or when I do get out of the pocket, trying to make those tough throws. And I think that's kind of where it came from, just being a little uncomfortable in certain situations.
I love that. By the way, we got another lacrosse player known as Owen Heineke. He's a linebacker, though, so we got to keep him away from you. Hey, you mentioned family. Obviously, your high school team was a family to you. Tell me about your family and what they've meant to you in your development and getting you to this point.
I think having my older brother kind of paved the way. He was a quarterback here. He's going to play baseball at Oklahoma next year, actually. But just kind of seeing his toughness through – I mean, he had a tougher schedule at some points just because they weren't as good as us. But being able to see him overcome a lot of tough moments, it just means a lot to me that my parents both being athletes, my mom playing college basketball, she keeps it real with me all the time. I mean, sometimes I'll be hurt, and she's always like, just suck it up. I mean, you got to move on. You're going to have some pain. But I think having them around me is just the best support I could ever have.
Hey, I'll let you go on this. I know that you've been to some big-time games. When you are on campus at Owen Field, and maybe when you're watching, do you envision yourself in those moments? Do you imagine what Bo Bentley as a quarterback can be like in those moments?
Absolutely. I love looking around the crowd and just picturing myself being the guy that they're cheering for. I mean, down there being around the type of guys, being in the middle of the field talking to Venables, it kind of just – it's different. I mean, kind of just looking up and realize, okay, this is really the Palace, and just one day I'm going to be in here playing, and it's incredible.
Hey, I asked about Arbuckle. I'll let you go on this. Tell me about your relationship and what's developed between you and Coach Venables.
Oh, it's unique. I love that man to death. I mean, obviously I'm not around him a lot at this point, but I'm so excited. Just the type of energy he brings, he truly wakes me up whenever I'm tired, and he's a great guy. What he has been through, I mean, family-wise for him, and just the seasons he's had, like last season, kind of being able to overcome that, finding a solution to the problem. It inspires me to be that way, and that's why I'm so excited to be around him.
Quarterback, man. Welcome to the Sooner Nation. Can't wait to get you in Norman. Proud to have you part of this class, bud.
Thank y'all.
Great to hear from Bo Bentley, and Chris's interview is presented by Taco Mayo. Tap the app and save up to 25% today. Not a Ford Pinto, not an AMC Pacer, a Bentley coming to the University of Oklahoma. And this gentleman came to the University of Oklahoma about a year ago. This time, offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle is with us. Please welcome him to the stage. Boots on the ground, it was like day one. You joined us here last year, am I correct?
Yeah, day one. I walked through the door, and they said, hey, you're about to go up there. And I was like, hey, guys, just fair enough. I don't know much about the guys that we just signed, but, no, it was great. And 1 year later, I mean, it's even better than I could have imagined.
Tell us about Bo Bentley. We just heard, I hear lacrosse. I hear great parenting.
Yeah.
Right there, some of those skills right
name.
there. Great name. Yeah,
Awesome.
QB name for sure. Bo, I mean, y'all got to see a little bit of it right there, but he's an unbelievable kid. He's a young man of integrity. His parents, I mean, they've been strict. They've been firm on him, but they've been incredibly supportive of him and every journey that he's ever had. And whenever you talk about him as an athlete and a competitor, the kid's never lost. He's never lost as the starting quarterback for his high school. He's going for another state title run right here. Whether he's banged up or I got to go to one of his games this year, and it wasn't all great in the first half. Just for them as an entire team, and watching him saddle up, go in the second half, and pull out a big win against a really good team. He's an elite competitor, and he just has the right stuff. I mean, the right stuff. The kid that you love to be around. And, I'm excited to get him a part of this program. I mean, he'll be here in about a month and a half, so excited to get him infused in this, bought into the culture, and he fits what our culture is. And so I'm excited about him.
It sounds like a great fit for the program as a whole, but what about the fit for what you want to do offensively?
Yeah.
The thing that stands out, clearly he can make all the throws, but I think you like mobile guys. I'm learning this about you. I was impressed with what I saw on his highlight tape as far as what he can do with his legs. But
Yeah, no, and that's a special trait that he has. It goes back to he kind of referenced his lacrosse playing days, and he's right. You're always in kind of a weird, unbalanced position, and he sees the field really well, whether he's in the pocket or his vision whenever it's time to scramble or a designed QB run. He sees the field so well, and he's able to get vertical and get the yards that you need, create whenever he needs to create, keep his eyes downfield, and find a receiver running in the scramble drill. He's a really complete quarterback in everything that he does. He has a high football IQ. He comes from a great high school football program who coaches their guys up the right way, trains them up the right way, and just the type of player he is. I'm excited to just get him in, get him going with the offense, and really seeing, okay, how can we truly build this with the skill set that he has, and and he has a lot of great things to offer. So I'm excited about that.
What are some of the other guys it's a wide-ranging class, offensively, offensive line, tight end, wide receiver. What are some of the other names that really stick out to you?
Yeah, one of my favorite ones is Deacon Schmidt. Y'all kind of talked about him a little bit. What a name, right?
Drone highlights are sweet.
Oh,
too,
man.
by the way.
But I got to go to his football game a couple weeks ago during the bye week, and I mean, he's out here just punishing these kids. And there's some good football players out here that he's just getting after, and it's constantly like a pancake here, sprinting downfield there. You can really, and the excitement that he has after the plays, you can see the love of football. You can see the passion of football. And that's something that fits with this place. And he's an awesome kid. He's been around so many times in the last year. He's tough. He's physical. He loves the work, and he really can't wait to get here. I mean, he blows my phone up, blows Coach Beanbo's phone up. Like, I can't wait to get there and get to work. And so he's one that just sticks out for sure. Another kid that I think I'm really, really excited about, and we just got him done here. I mean, like a little later is Jaden Petit from Florida. This kid's just a big physical presence out there. He makes unbelievable plays. His ball skills are incredible. And the cool thing about him, he's so big, but he's not, a stick in the mud out there. Whenever you watch his tape, he's spinning off people, breaking tackles, taking it the distance. Those are just two kids that I think have really good physical presence about them, who go and attack and work the right way. And I'm excited to get them in, along with, all the guys that we just signed in this class too.
You mentioned Petit, also Okafulezi.
Yeah.
Both guys 6'4".
Zeezee's big, man.
And that's, I assume that was a point of emphasis, trying to get a little bit bigger on the outside at wide receiver?
Yeah, absolutely. Just, this league, it's big, it's strong, it's physical, and just having two guys like that you'll be able to, have on the outside, but also move around, because I think they have the athletic ability to move in, move out, and just the skill set that they have. But, they're big. Zeezee is big. You shake his hand, and it's like shaking Shaquille O'Neal's hand. Like, this kid is massive.
His highlights, it looks like he's playing against children.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
I was watching him last night. I was like, geez, man, he looks enormous out there.
100%. No, he's a great kid, too. Cool story. And he's another one just from right down the road, ready to get him going.
How about the running back spot? Of course,
Yeah.
at University of Oklahoma, they want to hear about running backs, and you got DeMarco Murray here on staff, amongst some of the all-time greats. How about hitting that spot?
Yeah, absolutely. With that running back position, we got Dez and we got Jonathan Hatton, both different players. Dez, he's fun to watch. You put the ball in his hands, and he navigates holes in the offensive line really well, and he does a good job of sticking his foot and going. I think he has the ability to run away from some people, and he has smooth hands out of the backfield. Great kid. And then you got Jonathan Hatton. It's kind of the long game with him, right? But never any doubt with him. Comes from a great family, and he is a big, strong kid who picks his feet up whenever he runs. He runs through arm tackles. He runs through trash. Both of those guys, they have similar skill sets, and then they have very different skill sets too that I think will complement each other really, really well. But the common denominator on both of them is unreal families, great upbringing, and they love to work. And so I'm excited to get those two guys in here and hand them the ball off and watch them go.
Can't wait to see him. Congratulations on another great signing class. Your first from start to finish as Oklahoma Sooner offensive coordinator. Ben Arbuckle, everybody. Ben's with us here, courtesy of Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Architects are coaches. They are head coaches. And, of course, a general manager. Jim Nagy is with us to talk about this signing class in his first year as the new general manager. Please welcome Jim Nagy to the stage, ladies and gentlemen.
Your headset, sir.
Great to have you. The evaluation process, something that has been a life's work for you, and your first opportunity to go through it at the University of Oklahoma has been, right at about a year for you as well. What's the year and wrapping up this class been like for you?
How much time do we have?
We got 15 minutes for you.
As much as you want, honestly. There's no rules here.
No, it's really been a blast, guys. Just friends across the NFL have reached out periodically over the course of the fall, like, do you like it? Like, how is it? Just curious. A couple of them are thinking about doing the same thing, coming down to the college level, and it's probably been my most enjoyable job I've had. It's been a lot of fun. I'm learning every day. Every day is a learning experience. I'm really fortunate to have Coach Venables and the coaching staff. Our staff has done an unbelievable job from day one. It's been a little different setup. For in college football, this is new, and we kind of added to our staff periodically from March till about May. And when we bring a new guy on board, I'm like, guys, let's just put our heads down and work. We need to earn the trust of this coaching staff and the respect of this coaching staff. So I really feel like our staff has done that, and it's been really fun to watch over the course of the fall. We said the word collaboration a lot, right? And even upstairs in what they used to call the war room, we've renamed it the collaboration room intentionally. But to see the collaboration happening has been really rewarding. And again, it ends in a day like today where you get 24 great young men and families added to our OU family.
It's a new position. I mean, there's not a whole lot of history to draw off of. So as you came in, how was it kind of married up with your expectations? What's been some of the surprises maybe and feeling the way out through the first year?
Yeah, I knew there was going to be blind spots. But having the staff we have in place and keeping a guy like Drew Hill on board, who'd been here, has been a big help kind of navigating some of that stuff. I would say the biggest surprise to me has been that this locker room talks. We're all grown men. I would never ask any of you what you make for a living without thinking I'm going to get my teeth punched out. But no, when you're negotiating with these players like they do, they all know what each other makes. And so it's just balancing that room, and that's what we're kind of in the middle of right now is getting the retainment part, getting the team ready for next year, trying to retain these players for 2026. But, every day is a learning experience, but it's been great just going along the whole process with these guys.
A recruiting class, whether it's right or wrong, it's always headlined by the quarterback.
Sure.
Well, what made Bo Bentley the right guy for Oklahoma football?
First and foremost, that Ben Arbuckle has bought into him. You never want with all this, right? Like with all this, the questions are like, okay, how much is the front office evaluating versus the coaches? I want to be real clear with you guys up here. I mean, we're not bringing in any players the coaching staff isn't invested in. I mean, that's, as you know, as former players, like that can really undermine a player's career. So we'd never do that. When I came on the first interview with Coach Venables, I told him, I said, Coach, if you and I don't see eye to eye on a player, like there's a million high school players, let's go get another one. So, no, with Bo, Ben was invested. He's a true dual threat. The guy can really run. He talked about his lacrosse, but he also runs track. And he even talked about it, just the poise. He's a winner. The guy's never lost. Knock on wood for Bo. He's got one more game left. But, no, he's just a winner. He's got great feel. He's got great command. I like, to me, people always ask, what do you look for in quarterbacks? To me, it's instincts. And it sounds really simple, but to me, does he know how to play the position? And Bo, for a guy that was a first-year starter last year, you're looking at first-year starter tape. The game seemed slow for him. He knew how to play it. And, man, we're just lucky. And the cool part with Bo being down the road, it might not always work out this way with our future quarterbacks, but the fact that he was up here so many times during the fall, he almost feels like a part of this OU team already. And I told him that. We FaceTimed every kid today when all the paperwork came in, and I'm like, Bo, man, you already feel like you're a part of this thing. But for him to be around Team 131 and see what's made this team so special and the brotherhood and the chemistry that's really led this team to be 10-2, he's seen that. He's felt that. He's been in the winning locker rooms. He's been around, like he said, being around Coach Venables and hearing the post games. Like, that's huge for Bo. And we might not get that for a long time, but having a guy in our backyard that can come up here every week, I think has been big.
What are a couple more maybe guys, the moments, maybe it was watching their video, maybe it was having a conversation that really have stood out to you in this group of 24, if you would, just maybe a couple?
Wow. A couple of moments along the way for me, the Jandreau brothers, who we just had up here, just so everyone knows, Bo and Nico. So we've got a thing that kind of brought to our scouting department. We called it like the Crimson Player. I kind of patterned it after what we had in Seattle. We had the concept of it's just an all-in dude. It's a leader. It's a culture builder, culture enhancer. Everything the guy that just epitomizes what you want in a football player. And to me, when we were in Coach Venables' pool house trying to get – Nico was already on board. He'd been committed. We're trying to get Bo. His parents are sitting there, and they got me on pins and needles. Little did I know that Bo had his mind up. The mom had a video camera. She wanted to tape everything. So they had me going. But I'm reading to them the definition of what a Crimson Player is, and I literally got choked up. I had to stop myself because I wanted these guys on this football team that bad.
You cried to seal the deal.
You cried at the OV.
You're true.
You cried at the OV. So
anything for the program.
Hey,
Joe.
man, it's passion. It's passion. I'm passionate about this program. So it was important to me to get for those guys to be here. So that's one. And then just through the fall, I'm looking at this. I put stars next to all the guys that we signed post-June, post-OV, into the fall. There's 8 guys, man. A third of this class came this fall. And so, being in the NFL, I'd always heard that you don't negative recruit. You shouldn't do that. And then I get here, and, man, it's all negative recruiting. So we were facing a lot of that coming off, a challenging year last year. And I just knew, I had a really gut feeling this was going to be a good team, especially as we got into fall camp. We would all be at practice talking about how the guys looked. And I just had a feeling we got some we get into the fall, we get some traction, some guys that start circling back to us. And thank God it's happened. And to add these 8 guys, even as recently as Dane Bathurst, that guy's going to be an animal at this place. Christian Moore, we're getting violent, physical football players. And it's I just can't wait to unleash some of these guys, especially on special teams. Next year, this crew on teams, we're going to be wrecking some people. So it's going to be fun.
I thought I was watching a crime, watching Christian Moore's highlight tape. That guy is just crushing people. Your NFL background, it's a traits-driven league, athletically, measurables. Who are some of the guys on this list that are, some physical outliers that really grabbed your attention?
Got to start with Jaden Petit.
Yeah.
I got to start with Jaden Petit. So we do the photo shoots. Everyone sees the photo shoots when the guys come in for the OV. And he came out of the change room with his stuff on. I was like, oh my God. He looked like Julio Jones. I was like, this guy, he literally looks like he could line up on Sundays. with our measurements, he's 6'3.5". He was 222 pounds that day.
Jeez.
And that's why he was
Awesome.
he was really the one guy from the OVs that went to another school that we just really kept chasing collectively as a staff. I mean, because now he's got to prove us right, but I think this kid's so talented. I mean, for a guy that size, usually they don't run routes like this guy. They can't drop their weight. They can't get in and out of breaks. You know, they're limited after the catch. Like, this guy can create. He can do all the stuff smaller guys can do. So really excited about him. And you know, from a measurable standpoint, looking on the D-line, we're trying to get longer. You know, we're trying to get longer, more athletic. I mean, Coach Bates does a great job with our front. Coach Chavis does a great job with the front. So just getting longer and more athletic. But Jaden Petit, really physically, of these guys. And Jasir Rogers. You put on Jasir Rogers tape, it's electric. I mean, the guy pops off the tape. I always used to say this when my kids were younger. I'd say, like, my 6-year-old daughter could scout that guy when they were really good. But, like, anyone can scout Jasir Rogers. Like, when Penn State let go of Coach Franklin, you know, every time a coach got let go, that was the Sunday routine. I'm firing off a text to the scouting staff. All right, guys, dive in, you know, to the recruiting class and to the roster. We had it broken down by position. And the Penn State, when we got to Jasir Rogers and a couple other guys, like, okay, let's go. We need to get that guy. He's a playmaker. You know, everyone says they want to build a basketball team at the receiver position. That really wasn't intentional. It kind of looks that way. We're just trying to bring in guys that make plays, and Jasir Rogers, playmaker.
A lot of plays to be made. Jim, thanks so much for being with us, and congratulations on the class.
Appreciate you guys.
That is General Manager Jim Nagy. We appreciate our sponsors like Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Well, we've got one guest left. It's a very special guest. Great to have him here, as always, and talk about his signing class, head football coach Brent Venables.
Hey, what's up, man?
Boys,
How you doing?
all right. Good to see everybody.
Did we just go through all of them? Because we know you're going to do it anyway.
I need you to guide me here.
How about, well, let's start with what Jim Nagy was talking about. You know, 8 guys that as the season has gone along have that's a third of the class who see what's happening and what this team has done. But to be able to get those guys signed today, how important is that?
No, it's and to be able to close the class out and complete the class with guys that we feel bring tremendous value, both who they are as leaders, as competitors, as people, and certainly the things that you look from a physical standpoint, a playmaking standpoint. You know, that's one of the byproducts of having a front office in-house that can continue to evaluate guys in real time their senior year. Most guys play their best football if they're doing it right. Most guys play their best football their senior year. And as recruiting has sped up, you know, over the last decade, I'll be honest, I think that so many of the, you know, best players in college football were guys that were under-recruited, and somebody found them their senior year. And I was somewhere here over the last week, and I saw Jeremy Beal. And Jeremy Beal, for those that, you know, Sooner fans that remember, he's a 2007 Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. He's a first-team consensus All-American. And he came to camp. His coach was a good friend of ours, came to camp his senior year, or prior to his senior year that summer, and he ran 5.28. You know, he's 240 pounds. He was falling all over himself, going through the bags, and his change of direction. It was just not good. And he just wasn't a guy that's going to test well. And so he goes and he plays his senior year. So I said, nah, he's not really somebody we're looking for. So he plays his senior year. He's a district defensive player of the year. And we didn't follow him. He was, his one offer was Mike Shula, Alabama. Okay. So, he really didn't have any other offers. His coach, hey man, look, I'm trying to help this guy. Can I send you his senior video and and let me know what level, you know, I should look for him if it's not Alabama. So he sends it. We were recruiting an in-state guy. There was a 5-star guy from, I believe, Muskogee, and he's jacking us around and just kind of a high maintenance recruit and not committed and don't know if we're going to get him. And so Coach Stoops and I watched his video, and it was like, oh my God, this guy is just murdering people. And the video was fantastic and a lot better than the guy that we had been invested in for such a long time. And so Coach Stoops gave the blessing to take a hard right-hand turn. Jeremy comes. He played a little Mike Backer, redshirt his freshman year, and then was a 4-year starter, 3-time captain, and just a fantastic player. So, again, long story short, this staff is going to be able to help us do more of that. And I'll be honest, so now we're in this environment. So much has changed in college football, and then so much is still the same. The age group and the development piece and the experience that you want guys to have. But we are paying them now, and so maybe it's a guy's not playing very well as last year, and a guy that we've been heavily invested in, and there's a financial piece to it that you're investing in, and I think that it's appropriate to take if need be, extenuating circumstances, you might have to take a hard right-hand turn on somebody, and because of that financial piece now, and so they have the wisdom and experience to kind of look at all of that, as we build the class. And Jim alluded to, hey man, you're fighting the negative recruitment. Well, first of all, we're in the SEC, and it's negative all the time. There's very little air to breathe for anybody. It's a very competitive league when it comes to recruiting, which is a great thing too. It works both ways. And then going into the 23 season, we had some of the same things. And you think about the guys that came and were committed before they saw the fruits. And we win 10 games in 23, but prior to that, these guys were committed. The David Stones, the Jaden Jacksons, the Mike Boganowski, the Reggie Powers, Eddie Pierre-Louis. These are guys that were committed, and then we happen to win 10 games, and then they come in last year as true freshmen, and now here we are. They're going to be the foundation moving forward. But this class has got a lot of those type of guys that didn't flinch. They know who we are. Certainly being successful, substantiates their initial decision. Everybody loves a winner. And but man, I'm very, very thankful for all the hard work of everybody. Certainly our front office staff, our football coaches, and all of our support staff. There's so many people that it takes to put it all together. And even today, we got a bunch of rock stars in upstairs on the third floor, and I'm just incredibly thankful. And our players are a big part of that. I'll be honest. The recruits want to feel connected. If you can create an environment where they're selfless, nobody's stiff arming somebody that's coming in to compete with them. Our guys are truly welcoming and taking time out of their own schedule. Our players love their time. They don't have much of it, and they're choosing to come to recruiting dinners and meeting us up here at the facility to meet families and sit down and say, hey, here's our experience. We have our parents are absolutely nothing short of amazing. We have so many parents that are part of our recruiting weekends. They want to be used as a testimony to what here's the recruiting version and here's the real version. It's all the same. And it's been better than what we hoped. And I don't want to speak for everybody, but, that's invaluable, when you can have that. So how do you get to, a really successful point when it comes to, bringing in great people? It literally does. It takes everybody.
We got to hear from your quarterback there, and it sounds like, he was up here a lot. And talking about the relationship he has with the coaching staff, with you, that was pretty cool to hear from him. What do you think about Bo?
Yeah, no, he's, I've always, again, I think the fulfillment and the success comes from aligning with great people, and he certainly fits the bill. He's a great human being. He's a leader of leaders. He's a tremendous competitor. He's got great humility, great self-awareness. He brings out the best in everybody. He wants to be pushed and challenged and coached. And but as Jim and Ben both said, man, this is a guy that knows how to win and loves to compete. Instead of, I got to do my quarterback training and I'm just going to be a quarterback. And he wants to compete, and he gets in all these different locker rooms in front of these different coaches, different players, and he just he's like a pig in the mud when he gets in front of a team that needs to figure out how do we pull all together and be successful together. And I love that. That carries a lot of weight. And but the family's got a lot of OU connections, but we still had to fight through a lot to get them to a point they recognize the value of being the quarterback somewhere, and there's a lot of great programs that were recruiting him. So our guys did a wonderful job of identifying him. I remember when Ben sent me the tape. I can't remember. I think it was maybe January, last year, and we were already down the road with one quarterback committed, and he sends me this quarterback, and I just immediately, you're like, man, this guy knows how to win. And so it's all kind of come to fruition, and really excited about Bo.
You signed 12 guys on the defensive side of the ball, and we talked to Jim Nagy about a lot of guys with really good traits, right? The size, the speed, the frame you're looking for at all of the positions you signed them at. But when you watch all of their tape, it is very violent.
Yeah.
I feel like you have established the physicality, like that is the identity of this team right now, this team and moving forward. Just how important was that piece with all these different guys you signed on not only the defensive side of the ball, but the entire class?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that we believe deeply in. It's hard to make a guy like it and be physical. And so if Jay Valai was sitting up here right now, he'd say that's going to be his number one trait. He wants a guy that's going to run towards the fire. And so our guys did a great job of identifying that. That's incredibly important. That will travel. There's a lot of things that won't travel when they come to college, but physicality, being passionate, being disruptive, those things will travel without question. And it's a foundational, belief. And we got great alignment in our building, looking for that.
And there's, you go through the list and watch some of these guys. There looks like there's plenty of them that are ready right now, and one that sticks out to me is watching Jake Creel pass rush.
Yeah.
I mean, for a high school kid to have that toolbox, I guess, he's got everything, and the get off, the speed, all the different moves. It's pretty cool to watch.
If Coach Chavis could adopt him, or Coach Chavis could be adopted by the Creel family, he would do that too. He would do it in a heartbeat. He's been in love with Jake for a couple of years now. The relationship, is dated, a couple of years, and the family has been just fantastic. And to watch Jake grow through this process, talk about somebody that is incredibly passionate about the game of football and developing, he's got an edge to him. He's been an underdog. He was very undervalued early in his recruiting process because he's not he doesn't have, this amazing physical traits. And, but he's got all the right stuff. He's got great work ethic and very passionate, but he's got a lot of natural ability. His get off and his eye-hand coordination, his violence, his ability from a combat standpoint to violently use his hands and understand what the offensive lineman is taught. He's worked really hard at understanding how offensive linemen are coached too, and he's really a special guy. And if Chavis was up here to tell you several on-campus meetings, he's probably been on campus 10 times over the last 12 months. But he'll come up and he brings his notebook and he fills it up. It's 5 or 6, 7 pages just back to back to back to back watching film with Chavis. Every once in a while you have somebody, going to sleep. The coach is more excited than the recruit, to watch the film, by 2 hours into it. But not Jake Creel. And then the other piece of it, he's worked really hard, once he made his commitment of bringing in other guys that are like-minded and helping us recruit both sides of the ball. He's just a galvanizer of people, and the great ones. When you have a great locker room, that's a quality and a trait that the great locker rooms have. It's selfless guys. They care about the product. They care about the opportunity. They care about bringing in the right people they want to go on this journey with, and they understand the impact and influence that they can have too. And it takes everybody, and he's going to be somebody that from day one is going to be a great leader for us.
Who are some of the others that you heard Jim Nagy talking about need to get longer, guys on the edge, rangier type players? Who are some of those guys that you're excited to get your hands on?
Yeah, well, Matthew Nelson and Daniel Norman, they both play for respectively, arguably the best program in their state. Bryant for Matthew Nelson, and the St. Thomas Aquinas for Daniel Norman down in Fort Lauderdale. Matthew Nelson was a guy, again, very undervalued. we were able to identify him early in the process. Coach Travis goes out and sees him. He's a hurdler and a basketball guy, and he's long and rangy. He wasn't filled out necessarily, but he had a great frame for it and a lot of natural ability. And he's a physical guy for a guy that's wiry. Played with great effort, and then you get to know him and his family, and it's just like, no way, this is too good to be true. With the quality of the people, the humility, the work ethic, the toughness, the edge, and the thankfulness. And now, Alabama and amongst others are people that, tried to get in on the deal. Our root system was very strong at that point in time from a relationship standpoint. But all his best days are ahead of him when he gets into the program and really gets into the nutrition and things of that nature. But he's put on 20, 25 pounds since we first started recruiting him. And then Daniel Norman is almost, I could say the same thing about Daniel Norman and out of St. Thomas Aquinas, which is, again, they'll have 20 guys signed today. And so he's at a program that understands standards, understands work ethic, understands what the team's all about in the locker room. He'll bring all that with him in addition to, again, his length, his speed, his explosiveness, his ability to rush the passer. The South Florida kids, when you get the right ones, man, these guys are hungry. They're appreciative. You give them a free T-shirt, and man, they'll give you their life. They'll put their life on the line for you. And I mean it. And his family, they're just the most amazing, sweet people from a thankfulness, gratitude, and support standpoint.
How much, you've done a lot of these now, you've done several now as the head coach here at Oklahoma, but how much more fun is signing day while you wait to find out who you're going to play in a college football playoff?
Yeah, I mean,
it's got to be a little different. It's got to be a little different feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I love what I do. I've always loved what I do. I get to go to practice. I mean, I love that piece. Oh, and literally during a week, you know the DNA, and sometimes you forget the team. You forget the logo. Oh, who did we just play? You spent, 100 hours a week before of getting ready for that team, and you're so process driven, so scheme driven. So just 3rd and 3, what are they like? You literally forget about the logo and who's the head coach and all that, because that stuff don't matter. It has nothing to do with it. Now, again, what's at stake? Man, I'm fired up. We got practice here in a little bit with the guys, and I'm so excited with it. We got together yesterday for the first time since Saturday, and, man, it was such a great moment just to not to gas them and beat our chest and all that, but to affirm them and all of their hard work, the relentlessness. Maybe it's the seniors that are guys that have been here for 4 years that, man, they deserve some flowers in the moment. And do y'all realize what you just did? And we have been talking about, and for me as the leader, you're trying to create vision all the time, and this is what it's going to look like. And then you come up short, man, you feel this enormous disappointment that you let people down. Even if they don't express, disappointment, you carry that weight. And I'm not looking, for empathy by that. That's just my nature. You just want it for everybody. And so when you walk off the field, you're on the field post game, you stop them on 4th down, man, this excitement and the passion and just the it's I have all this emotion for the players, for their families, for our coaching staff, for their families, for the fan base. You want the sense of pride to be shared by everybody. It's like, that's what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like, that's my squad, and for the players just to affirm, all of their, sacrifice and the blood, sweat, and tears that everybody, lays it on the line every day. And like, okay, and for us, this is kind of one of those, all right, this will help take another, big step moving forward. And they get it, there's a little space on one of the walls right outside the team meeting room that has 4, playoff plaques. And then in the indoor facility, the 4 playoff banners. And so we've been talking about having an opportunity not to ride the coattails of those that came before you. Hey, it's great. You came, and that's great. But that ain't your championship, brother. That's not your success. You got to create that for yourself. We all do. And, and so, now they get an opportunity, seniors, to have a legacy. You're leaving the place better than when you got here. And that's what, to me, that's what the sports arena, the competitive world, when you're on a team, you should own that. You should carry that. I want to make this place better. I want to bring honor and pride, to the moments that I was here. And so that group of guys, I'm super excited and just proud of them, and that they can have that now. They literally can have that. That's their own. And again, we're not done. This story's not done. But 131 for all of us that have been here, man, that's a really, really special group without question.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
That's how you become legendary.
Yeah.
2026. Amen. Congratulations on the class. Yeah. I'm glad you did not make me negotiate for my free T-shirt.
I didn't know we were all wearing this. I thought it was just by chance.
I just do what I'm told, Coach.
I got you.
Well, there was an inter-office email, but you clearly got it. We appreciate you being here, Coach. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
On the success moving forward.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I thank everybody here for being here today. I'm not surprised at every chair that's filled up here. We appreciate you. This is shared success, and thank you for your support. Big time. We couldn't do it without everybody. So appreciate y'all, Boomer Sooner. God bless. Happy New Year. Let's freaking go. We're going to
all those things.
Home
Boomer.
game.
All right.
Home game.
Boomer.
Teams earned a home game.
We appreciate our community outreach partners like Valorado Group, OU Health, OG&E, and Coca-Cola. University of Oklahoma Athletics, one with you. Continue to follow things on Soonersports.com as all the information on any recruit that we have signed here. 24 of them going to become legendary in 2026. And thanks to all of you, for Teddy Lehman, for Gabe Eichert, all the coaches and players who joined us. We appreciate you joining us. Boomer.
Sooner.
Thank you. We'll see you next year.